President Donald Trump has vowed to end radical left organizations that have been demonizing Americans and sowing chaos in our country following the assassination of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. I wrote this up over at theculturecrusader.substack.com or culturecrusader.substack.com. You can find the link in the description below. Kirk was shot and killed while hosting an event at Utah Valley University for Turning Point USA. After being asked a question about the number of mass shooters in the United States over the last 10 years, he was struck in the neck and began profusely bleeding. President Trump initially responded to the shooting, calling on Americans to pray. We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who's been shot. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him. I'll be honest, when I saw the initial close-up video, I began immediately crying and praying for his life and safety and praying for our country. It was absolutely horrific seeing that. I'm getting emotional right now just talking about this. But President Trump then announced that Kirk had been killed, died from his wound, died from the assassin, saying the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth of the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. From there, he ordered all American flags to fly at half-mast until Sunday evening at 6 p.m., writing on Truth Social, in honor of Charlie Kirk, a truly great American patriot. I am ordering all American flags throughout the United States lowered to half-mast until Sunday evening at 6 p.m. He then shared a video message from the Oval Office, and as part of that video message, he says that Charlie Kirk is a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, their two young, beloved children, and his entire family that he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with anyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. President Trump then put the blame firmly on radical left-wing media outlets, saying it's long past time for all Americans in the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree with day after day and year after year in the most hateful, despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. President Trump then vowed my administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. And he's absolutely right to do this. It is past time that this is being enacted. As I write right here, President Trump is right to vow to go after these organizations that have been demonizing honest Americans for multiple years without any repercussions. In fact, they've been enriching themselves while demonizing us and canceling us and trying to destroy our lives. What they have engaged in is not free speech. Dr. Edward Fazer explains this. The right to freedom of speech is more precisely the right to speak the truth and to uphold the good. This clearly entails some limits on the right to free speech. There can be no right under natural law to speak lies or to promote evil, since that would be directly contrary to the end for which the right to free speech exists. And when these people are doing this, they are not They are not speaking the truth. They are promoting evil, and they are lying and slandering, and they are indeed inciting violence in many cases as well. One need look no further than what happened earlier this week and look at CNN's senior political commentator, Van Jones, who decried Kirk and painted him as race-mongering and hate-mongering over his reaction to the brutal murder of Irina Zarutska. It is just and right to target these outlets and the individuals within them and bring them to justice. They have been destroying our country. They've been brainwashing people, and they are indeed leading people and leading this country into the chaos that we see around us. It is encouraging that President Trump is not being cowed, but is showing courage and a tenacity to fight. As Father R. Vierling, or Father V over on X, said in a post, "I know that many, myself included, are growing increasingly weary with much that is happening both in our country and in our church. First and foremost, we must recall that we are in a spiritual combat, and goading us into despair is a very effective tool of the devil." And have to praise Donald Trump. He clearly is not going into despair. Instead, he is picking up the sword and shield and is charging into battle and taking on these opponents that are trying to destroy us. And then Father V cites Dom Scopoli from the great book, The Spiritual Combat. I highly recommend it. I have it on my bookshelf. Definitely recommend you get this. There is so much wisdom to be gained from it. But he quoted it as saying, "Fight, therefore, with great determination. Do not let the weakness of your nature be an excuse. If your strength fails you, ask more from God. He will not refuse your request. Consider this: if the fury of your enemies is great and their numbers overwhelming, the love which God holds for you is infinitely greater. The angel who protects you and the saints who intercede for you are more numerous." And then, as for anyone who might cringe or try to balk at engaging in violent methods to bring these bad actors to heel, which President Trump is clearly implying is going to happen, the National Conference of Catholic Bishops explained how one can wage war and be violent in order to achieve peace. In the document, The Challenge of Peace, God's Promise and Our Response, it explains that St. Augustine viewed war, in some cases at least, to restrain evil and protect the innocent. The classic case which illustrated his view was the use of lethal force to prevent aggression against innocent victims. Faced with the fact of attack on the innocent, the presumption that we do no harm even to our enemy yielded to the command of love, understood as the need to restrain an enemy who would injure the innocent. And that is where we are at now. These people are injuring the innocent. We saw this happen at the Catholic Church in Minnesota, where a trans shooter shot up the church that these innocent children were in. We saw this in the Charlotte light rail attack. An innocent woman was viciously stabbed and killed. And we see this with Charlie Kirk, where an assassin killed him in broad daylight. And we have initial reporting claiming that the cartridges of the alleged shooter, or they found a rifle that they believe to be from the shooter, and the cartridges for that rifle have engraved wording on them expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Now, obviously, this doesn't provide a clear motive, but regardless, we have seen what the fruits of people like Van Jones and the leftist media have done to this country. And enough is enough. We have the responsibility and the duty to protect the innocent from this violence. And it is good to see that President Trump is doing it. The document goes on to explain that recourse to war is permissible only to confront a real and certain danger, i.e. to protect innocent life, to preserve conditions necessary for decent human existence, and to basic human rights. And if you just look at transgender ideology in a vacuum, what does that ideology do? It is all about destroying basic human rights and decent human existence. It is about mutilating oneself, whether through actual physical means or through chemical means. And it should be stopped. It should be illegal to promote that ideology because it is so wicked and evil. So I applaud President Donald Trump for this vow, and I hope that he follows through with it, because enough is enough. It is time to put a stop to this and protect the innocent people of this country that have been demonized for years by the radical left that want to kill us. And they indeed do want to kill us. They want us dead. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?